What is happening, amazing humans? Welcome back to the show. As you know, this is the relaunch of my podcast. I had 300 episodes of the Thrive Forever Fit show, and then we took a little break. And now we have relaunched the show with a new name. Same me, same mission, well, probably not same everything. Going to be a less health and wellness and fitness and all those things. I mean, you can find that anywhere on the internet you want. Now, listen, I'm going to try to sneak a little bit of motivation in here. I'm going to try to sneak a little mindset in here. I might even try to convince you to live a little bit of a healthier life, but that's not the main goal, main mission of the show. The main goal is to bring you a little happiness, bring you a little laughter, bring you just a spot of joy in your day. I want you guys to listen to this while you're getting ready for work, while you're driving to work, while you're on the treadmill, when you've got like 15, 20, 30 minutes just to get a little pop of awesomeness. Now, speaking of awesomeness, the internet, social media, absolutely undefeated when it comes to nonsense. So let me share what's going with you on today. I am a motivational cat. I am always trying to think of something that I can do, say, present to help people just make decisions that make their life better. Like that's it. Simply, I mean, if you know anything about me, you know that that's like literally my calling card. So today, this morning, I'm at the gym, 4 something a.m. I'm on the mill, and I'm like, okay, I feel like just throwing a little spice out into the universe. And so I said, the post I put up was this. I put most people destroy their weight loss progress between 5 p.m. on Friday and when they go to bed on Sunday night. It's just the truth, right? Most of you guys are amazing Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday at lunch. But then when the weekend comes, I mean, I get you. I totally feel you. Like I don't drink booze during the week. But on Friday, Saturday night, I might have a cocktail or 4. So I get you. But if I'm gonna do that, I'm also gonna make alterations and modifications to my nutritional intake so that my caloric value is still in the range of what I need it to be in order not to gain weight from the excess calories of the alcohol, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I put this post up and then I just put this. This is a reminder that being disciplined isn't a sacrifice. It's self-respect at the highest level. That's pretty simple, right? That doesn't seem argumentative. That doesn't seem judgy. That doesn't seem like I'm trying to be an a-hole. And most of the comments that I've gotten on the post have been absolutely, awesome. Jay, so true. Discipline isn't deprivation, it's self-respect in action. Absolutely, Lori. Not my Lori. Different Lori, just from the internet. I don't know Lori Velasco. Don't know you, Lori, but I love what you're saying. Well, I'm Susan Dunn says, thanks, coach. You're welcome, Susan. Always. Irene's like, this is so true. And I'm like, Irene, isn't it though? And then Laura Lee Jackson is in New York City, and she took the time to write such a nice note. She said, or when you're in New York, make good choices. Thank you for this. You're always looking out for us. We appreciate you. And then the next comment got me. I don't know who Mandy Lewis is, but evidently Mandy Lewis is not a fan of Jay Nixon because Mandy Lewis just comments sanctimonious, making a show of being morally superior to other people. And I said, huh. Well, Mandy, that was definitely not my intention. And then I want to comment back to Mandy. And all I was going to say was, I love the use of the word sanctimonious, if I'm being honest. Like you had me at sanctimonious. Like very underutilized word. I don't know that I've heard it in the last 3-4 years. So I dig people who have a vocabulary that's outside of the normal scope. So I wasn't even going to say back anything derogatory or mean or try to start a fight. Like, I mean, I'm assuming Mandy wanted a little squabble, but I wasn't going to give it to her. I was going to be like, hey, I love the use of the vocabulary. Hats off, touche, whatever it is, like, something. But Mandy chose to post that and then block me so I can't even comment. I feel cheated. I feel absolutely cheated. She had no idea what I was assuming she thought I was going to come back with a fastball. Was not my style. I'm not an internet arguer. I'm not one who engages in the squabble of verbal combat from behind a keyboard. Just not my style. I was really going to compliment her on the use of a big word. I think it's awesome. And now I don't even get to know Mandy. I don't even get to know what her comeback to my response was going to be, and I feel cheated. I'm upset by it. I'm devastated, distraught, dumbfounded. I'm really none of those things. I'm just trying to think of as many D words as I can think of. But anyway, the internet undefeated as usual. But Mandy, I know you're not listening, but if you were, and Mandy Lewis is a pretty, I mean, a common name, I would think. There's probably several hundred of you across the country. So if you're listening, Mandy, unblock me. I'd like to have, listen, if you've got, if you've got sanctimonious in the bag, and that's like what you, that's a word that just comes naturally to you. I would love, I consider myself a wordsmith. I would love to have a conversation with you because you sound intelligent. And I would never, ever, ever turn down the opportunity to have an intelligent conversation with anybody, even if said person didn't agree with me being me, which a lot of people probably don't. So I'm really not, not that bummed about it. Let's move on. Let's talk about Suitcase Guy. So I like to drop like fun gym stuff on you guys just because it's like I go to several different big box gyms, and you can imagine over the years, I mean, I've been going, at least the last 3 decades. So 30 years of going to big box gyms. I forgot more funny stories than I could even remember. But what I've realized, and today was more of an epiphany when I thought of this, is there's a guy that works out at one of the gyms that I go to, and I call him Suitcase Guy, not to be derogatory or mean or anything like that, but he walks around the gym like he's carrying 2 suitcases. And I'm not talking like a suitcase that you would put in the overhead bin on the airplane. I'm talking 2 50-pound plusers. He's probably having to pay extra at check-in because these bad boys seem big. And I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? Because he's in decent shape, but not anywhere near where his arms would need to be flared out to the magnitude that they are. And then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, fellas, guys, if you're listening, dudes, here's the deal. The only people that care about your musculature to a certain degree, I think ladies probably, if you're into dudes, some of you guys probably like a fit guy, you know what I mean? Guy who's got a little musculature to him, a little bit, he's in shape, maybe he lifts weights a little bit, that type of thing. But I don't really think that ladies are looking for, the big jacked up, meathead look. You get the picture. Sadly, after, like I said, I've been lifting weights since I was 12 years old. And as a young buck, young Jay probably thought that chicks dug that. Old man Jay understands that the only people that dig a big dude is another dude, right? Like, I've never gotten a compliment from a female. It's like, hey, your shoulders are really popping today, Jay. Like it's always another cat, right? It's always another dude that is giving you that compliment. So here's the message is this: put the suitcases down, bro. Just set them down. I mean, I try to walk around like that sometimes, like, with your arm. It's actually exhausting. It's exhausting. You bump into things, you ram stuff. It's just not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. So, fellas, if you're listening, today's not really a funny gym story, but just more of like a moral or a lesson. Ladies, if you've got young kids who are training, like maybe a teenager, just let them know early. Say, hey, get fit, get in shape. That's all cool. But the bravado of meathead to meathead, like that's the only people that care about that are other meatheads, really. You know what I mean? Like I see another dude, I'm like, that's in shape. Good for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like a little bit, give me a little high five from across the room, but nobody really cares. You know what I mean? Just take care of yourself, eat well, you know what I mean? Move a little bit, go for a walk. I think things like that are really, really more important than anything else. Okay, let me give you a quick little, and I know what you're thinking, Jay, is this show about Love is Blind? It is not, but I'm in it. I'm in it now. Lori and I watched an episode last night, and now we're at the stage of the show where they're finally picking each other. right? They're saying, hey, will you marry me? Which seems absolutely insane, right? I've never even seen you, but will you marry me? Yeah, I'd love to. That sounds like a fantastic idea. I've been very unlucky in love up to this point, and I think this is the ticket for me. This is what I've been waiting for. Anyway, so they're at that stage of their relationships, and most people have already paired up, and there's one couple left, and I am on the edge of my seat. Now, guys, remember this for me, this is like my parenting. Like I feel like I'm their parent as I watch this show, because most of them could be right around that age of being my kids, right? They're right in their 30s. So if I had them when I was 20, you get what I'm saying. So last couple is Madison and Alex. And I'm in shambles over here because I think Alex is about to make one of the biggest mistakes of his life by choosing Madison. Nothing against Madison. I'm sure she's a lovely, lovely human. I just don't see the connection. I just don't see, you know what I'm saying? Like you watch these shows and you're like, okay, like I said last week, I could see Tarzan and his girl like hitting it off, gonna be great, same energy, same attitude. It feels like it's gonna work. Probably won't. If you've seen the show, probably not gonna work. But from the perspective of the show, good fit, good pick. I feel like you're right in the same wheelhouse. They look normal together. They look good together. I think it has the potential to work. This one, I can't have it. I can't have it. I can't have Alex get on a knee and ask Madison to marry him. And so we're in the show, and I am nervous. Like I'm an edge of my seat. And then I see Alex starting to put it all together. He's starting to hear the red flags that I'm seeing and hearing through the whole show. Because mind you, like you get the behind the scenes. Like I know what he doesn't know. Right. And I'm thinking like, if you're a producer, you got to come out of the back and just whisper in his ear and be like, don't do it. Listen to me, don't do it. Like, that's what I'm screaming. Like Lori's like, I need you to shut up so I can watch the show. I'm like, listen, if I can get through this TV, she's like, the show's over, Jay. The show is actually over. This has already happened. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so, okay. Anyway, I'm acting like I'm there. And so I feel like Alex starts to feel the energy, and he's asking certain questions that he's starting to peel back the layers of the red flags. And then I see him get it. And he's like, oh, like this is going to be my life if I move forward. And then I watch my guy say, you know what? I just don't think we're there. And I'm like, my man, I raised you well. You have, I mean, I just feel like he dodged a bullet, and couldn't have been prouder. Alex, if you're listening, I don't even know how the show turns out. Maybe you guys like rendezvous later on, fall in love. I don't think you will, but you might. If you do, mazel tov. If you, but I feel like you made it in the moment. I feel like you made a good decision. So if you're watching the show, I feel like you feel like I feel. That's what I'm guessing as a rational human being, which nobody's going to listen to the show if you're irrational, right? Like if we're all like in the same, like, level of like, cognitive intelligence, I think. I feel like you're on the same page as me. Now, a couple other things about the show. Here's some massive red flags. Now, younger generation, if you're if you're listening, if you're like in your 20s or 30s and you're listening right now, you might want to earmuff. I'm not going to say anything offensive, but you guys tend to be a little more sensitive than those of us that grew up drinking out of a garden hose and riding a 10-speed bike around town as your form of transportation. I mean, so if you're listening, this is not meant to hurt your feelings, but you guys are a little more sensitive than your predecessors that are now in our 50s. We just had a different life. You know what I mean? We just had a different upbringing. No social media, no cell phones. The phone was attached to the wall. Like, a lot of things that you can't even comprehend. So we're watching the show, and this is from a few episodes back, and this one couple was talking about like, well, what do you like to be called? Like, what would you want to be called in the relationship? Like, do you like little pet names and nicknames? And I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. Like, I call Lori Babe. So I got that from my grandfather. So Floyd called Leona Babe my whole life. And so I kind of grew up hearing my grandfather talk to my grandmother that way. And I always thought it was like really endearing and loving. And it just, it was cool. And so I think that's where I got that, and I adopted it. And so I just refer to her as Babe. Even when I probably shouldn't, like we'll be in public, like, she's Lori speaks all over the country, and we'll be at a speaking event, and in front of the Queen of England, I'll be like, hey, Babe. And she's like, probably not the setting for babe, but you're a moron, and I understand it. So anyway, we're watching the show, and this girl says, the guy asked the girl, he's like, what would you want me to call you? Right? Because it's kind of weird. Like, do you call your significant other by their first name? Like when Lori, I can't remember the last time Lori called me Jay, or that I called her Lori to her face. Like I said, hey, Lori, you know what I mean? Like it just feels weird, sounds weird. So do you call your significant other by their actual first name, or do you have a name for them or some form, right? But this one got me. Like they were kind of talking, and she said, well, I'd like for my significant other, this is the 30, I think this girl was like 33, 34 years old. So paint the picture there. I would like for my significant other to call me baby girl. And I sat up in the bed like I was like somebody had been, like I'd been tased. And I just started laughing out loud. And I looked at Lori and I'm like, I don't think I've got that in the back. I don't think I've got that in me. I don't think I have the ability to refer to you as baby girl. And we were just both cracking up. I was like, it's 250 something year olds. I don't know why that just caught me as hysterical that an adult, a 30-year-old, would want to be called baby girl. It just, what do you think about that? Is that something that you'd be comfortable being called? And so every morning, I have a tradition. I'm not if you call it a tradition, but Lori and I've been together for, I mean, gosh, almost 18 years. And every morning that I get up before her and she's still in bed, or before I leave the house, I always write her a handwritten note. And I just, I usually start it out with, happy Monday, babe. Hope you have an awesome day, blah, 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 blah. So the morning after that show, I wrote on the note, good morning, baby girl. And she sent me a text when she got up, just the laughing emoji. And so that's how crazy it is that I just can't even imagine like say those words coming out of my mouth in a really, authentic and real way. So anyway, if you're watching the show, what do you think about it? Are you on the same page as me with the whole Madison and Alex thing? And listen, I find it's crazy, right? Like, would you go? I asked myself this, like, if you were single, and would you go? I couldn't do it. I mean, I get the premise, I get the idea, and it is absolutely phenomenal television. You can't get enough of it. It's fantastic. All right, moving on. Before we jump into trending topics, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? If you listen to last week's, I don't even know. I've glanced at this week's, and I can tell you just as ridiculous, if not more. But we did get a question submitted by a listener, and it was in reference to the Buzz Buddy product that I talked about last week. In which I listen. First, let me backtrack right back to the first of what I should have said to start this show. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for every one of you guys that listened to the relaunch episode and has commented and has told me that you love it, what you loved about it. Said congratulations for the launch of the new business with BuzzBuddy, like all of that. Like you guys are the absolute best, and I could not be more thankful and grateful to have you in my life. And I'm blown away by the response and by the just the generosity of your comments and the kindness and all of those things. And we did get a question in there. So Buzz Buddies is really designed. So it's an alcohol metabolism facilitator, if you will. So it's really designed, like I said last week, to protect your liver and your brain from the toxic effects of the alcohol, the acetaldehyde that the alcohol turns into, that has to be metabolized by the liver and in the body and goes to the brain and all those things. And so I designed Buzz Buddy as it's 2 capsules when you start drinking and 2 capsules when you're finished drinking. Because the idea is that, even if I'm just having one cocktail, I take 4 Buzz Buddy. I take 2 before I have my drink, my glass of wine, and I take 2 when I'm done having my glass of wine, because I want to protect my liver and my brain. It's just, that's the bottom line. And I know I'm not going to get hungover from that one glass of wine, but I don't want the negative ramifications from that one glass of wine in any magnitude at all. But most people who are going to go, like, let's say we're going to go to dinner and we're going to have like a couple of cocktails and maybe a beverage, like maybe 2 or 3 glasses of something, couple of vodka sodas, couple of G and T's, whatever you're into. What I designed the product to be, right? Because the whole thing with Buzz Buddy is you need 1,200 milligrams of the active ingredient, which is the dihydromyristin. And so if products are out there on the market, and there's a lot of them out there, If they don't have the 1200 milligrams, you're not getting the efficacious dose. Like, you guys know me, like, I research things. I don't just make BS products. And so this product is efficacious, meaning it has the exact dosage of the active ingredient that you need for the product to work. So that's why it's designed in a 2-in-2 formula. But you could take all 4 capsules at one time. Let's just say you forgot to take the product and you left home without it, and your Uber drops you off and you come back in the house. You can take all 4 of the capsules and it's going to work beautifully. It's going to work perfectly. Ideally, I like to take it because I want to get the full effects of it. So I take 2 when I first start consuming my first beverage, and then 2 after I finish. But it is a 4 capsule dosage. But you could take 2 in the middle. You could take 2 after your first drink. 4 after your first drink and be totally fine. The only thing you have to make sure you do is take all 4 capsules that are in the individual little packet. So as long as you're taking the whole packet, doesn't matter if you take it before, after, during, whatever it is, as long as you get that 4 capsule dosage in the window of your consumption. And another question we got was, well, what if I'm going, well, not what if, Jay, I'm going to Vegas. Oftentimes when I'm in Vegas, I like to start the day off with a mimosa, and I like to have a little bit of cocktails throughout the day. So I'm going to be drinking for a larger window of time than my normal, quote unquote, consumption period. And I said, absolutely, totally understand. BuzzBuddy's going to help you with there. So what I do in a scenario like that is I would take 2 capsules in the morning with my first mimosa, and then I would probably take 2 capsules midday, and then I would pick another 2 or 4 capsules at the end of the day. If we're talking about like a 12-hour window here, like we're talking about a marathon day, we're talking about a pub crawl, we're talking about a wedding that lasts from like 6 to midnight, something of that nature, just to make sure that I'm getting the positive ramification, the positive benefits of the active ingredient, the milk thistle, the L-cysteine, and protecting the liver and the brain throughout the entire day. Now, you could just take all 4 capsules in the middle of the day and be totally fine. I'm just a preventive maintenance kind of guy. So that's what I would do in a longer form period like that. So hope that answers that question. If it didn't, feel free to resubmit the question, and I'll do a better job of articulating that. But just know that as long as you're taking the 4 capsules in the window of the consumption, you're going to be perfect. All right, let's dive into trending topics before we get out of here for today. Trending topic number 1 is, this one's not super shocking, but it seems like AI conference overload. So it basically, what it's saying is that there is an AI conference popping up everywhere and suddenly becoming like the new tech craze of 2025. Like everything from Vegas to New York City to Seattle to everywhere, it seems like all anybody's talking about is AI, 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 AI. So that's not really that surprising of a trending topic. The next one may get you. Now, we talked about hair color on the last one, so hopefully you guys paid attention. If you're going to your hairdresser, you've teed them up, you've got them ready to do trends. I know JoJo was listening. She's like, Jay, I got my hair done today. Haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast. So it's a toss up whether she hit the trend or not. We're gonna have to talk to her and find out. But number 2 is spring fragrance frenzy. I love the fragrance frenzy. I like it when when you repeat, like, FF, fragrance frenzy. So this season's fragrance trends are all over the place, as you can only imagine. From intense classics to fresh natural scents, perfumers, so I guess that's someone who perfumes. Perfumers are experimenting with everything, including nut and spices. So nuts and spices this season. I don't really think of spring as a nut and spice season, do you? We're wearing cologne and preparing like you're wearing cologne and preparing for a bake-off. I don't know about you, but I don't want to smell like a pumpkin spice bread or something. I don't want to smell like a banana bread. It just seems weird to me. Let's don't do that. Let's don't do nuts and spices for the spring. I think of spring, I want a little hint of copper tone. You know what I mean? I want to know that summer's coming, that little coconutty, whatever whatever fragrance they put into that copper tone. You remember when you were a kid, whatever flavor they put into that, it's probably toxic as hell, but if you smell that, don't you have a flashback to just summers and lathering yourself down, maybe with baby oil and whatever it was that we used to put on ourselves to try to get a sunburn, just try to get tan as fast as you normally could, laying on the trampoline because you thought the black from the trampoline was going to attract the sun. Like we were not smart. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier, youngsters. Like my generation, we were crazy. We drank out of garden hoses. We laid on trampolines with foil all over the place, lathered in baby. I mean, we were not we were reckless. We were absolutely reckless, and that's why we're probably a little bit dangerous, as you know, as we are today. Number three, the music industry's wild ride. Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I'm about to say three names here that I have never heard of. If it's not country or 80s rock, I probably don't know. So there's somebody named Jeannie's solo album Ruby has surpassed 450,000 pre-orders. Hats off to Jeannie, whoever she is. No last name, just Jeannie. But her solo album Ruby seems to be taking off with the pre-orders. And then Max McNow's show, Max McNow is selling out shows everywhere. Who in the hell is Max McNow? Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar. Now, the only reason I know who Kendrick Lamar is because he performed at the Super Bowl. I was in Vegas at a Super Bowl party at the Cosmo, and so it was all over the big screens and whatever. But I would not even know that that was an actual human if he hadn't have been on the screens at the Super Bowl. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't pay attention to what was sang or sung or happened, so I can't even speak to that. I'm definitely not a music savant of anything. Number four is just ridiculous. Number four is absolutely ridiculous. Space tourism is taking off. What? Space private companies are launching lunar landers and planning asteroid mining missions, with Blue Origin's New Glean rocket making its maiden flight. Are we on the brink of space becoming the next vacation hotspot? No, we are absolutely not. Raise your hand if you're getting on anything that puts you into space. Not happening. Leave me if you're going to do that, leave me your car keys. Like leave me your car keys and your ATM card with the PIN number. Because if you don't come back, you know what I'm saying. What are we talking about? No, we are not. Listen. We're not even close to being ready for space tourism. That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever. We're trying to get a flying car off the ground. I still get nervous in the. If you guys took one of those Waymos. It's the autonomous driving car. Like there's no driver in it. Lori and I took one in Phoenix last year. I think last year, year before last. Yeah, last year I think it was. I'm not even comfortable with that. Like I wouldn't take that on the freeway. I mean, we just went like 3 blocks just to try it out. But I'm not about to get on anything that launches me into the stratosphere. Not happening. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then number five, unpredictable weather patterns. The recent North American storm complex brought tornadoes, wildfires, dust storms across multiple states. Is Mother Nature trying to tell us something? I guarantee she is. Trying to tell us that we've lost our minds. I mean, you heard what Mandy Lewis said to me. Mother Nature's like, Mandy, calm it down. Stop being mean to people on the internet. Whew. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Let me leave you with a little positive overtone as we dive off into another week of awesomeness. It's like I said last week. I think that oftentimes we feel like if we're trying to be better, if we're trying to progress, if we're trying to evolve, if we're trying to grow, if we're trying to grow ourselves personally, if we're trying to grow positive relationships, trying to grow a business, sometimes you get some heat, right? You get some Mandy Lewis in your life and it can bum you out. So here's what I want you to do. The next time that you run into a Mandy Lewis, I just want you to let it go. I want you to look at something you can laugh about it. And I want you to remember that there's a Jay Nixon out there that's high-fiving you and pumping you up and supporting you and wanting you to know that you've got everything it takes to be everything you want to be. And we can't let people that are going to just, send shots across the bow for absolutely no reason. We can't let those people detract us, right? We can't let them detract us, get us detracted from our mission. And then I'm a big believer in this. I never take advice, criticism, anything from somebody that I wouldn't trade places with. You know what I mean? Because I think you're very rarely going to get criticism from the top down. Busy people, happy people, successful people are just too busy being happy, successful, and busy to criticize you. To now, listen, they may try to help you, right? There's a massive, massive difference, right? But they're just too busy to the loudest boos come from the cheapest seats. Remember that. The most criticism is going to come from somebody who's trying to work through their own junk. So if you're in a place or a space where you're surrounded by people who are negative, I highly suggest that you get a little you put in for a little vacation time away from that crew, and you get yourself around people who have an outlook on life that is moving forward, that is growth oriented, that is full of happiness, health, wealth, and abundance, and all things. Like, remember, what are you and your friends talking about? Let's talk about success. Let's talk about growing businesses and expanding in the business that you're in or the career that you're in. Let's talk about being healthy and fit. Let's talk about awesome stuff. Let's talk about being positive and abundant, happy, healthy, right? Positive relationships. Let's put all that other garbage and nonsense just to the side. So I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for listening to the show. Like, listen, if you want something, need something, you want me to talk about anything, fire some questions in, fire some comments in, and we will get all of those answered and articulated on the next show. All right. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you.